Are you live?
Good evening, boys and girls. It is December 11th, 2023. And you know what? There's not one, but two Monday Night Football games tonight. I'm Rafael Esparza from DocSports.com, and my guy to my left, his right, whatever, Griffin Murphy is in the house as well. We have a special guest coming in about an hour. Robert Fringo is coming in. We're going to be discussing some probably college hoops with him, some NFL bowl games, whatever you guys want to talk about. We will talk about Griffin. How was your weekend?
My weekend was phenomenal, brother. We ended up cashing. We actually had a great slate on the NFL side of things. On top of that, I cashed. I had Army -3 as a 6 unit. Had a phenomenal weekend. Also, I was actually in Vegas. I got back Saturday morning, I want to say. All around, I kind of rested throughout the weekend on that side of things. On the work side of things, we capitalized. Had a great weekend. What about yourself?
Yeah, it was a decent weekend. I continue to struggle in the second half of football, especially in the NFL. So it was a little rough. Thank God I had the Cowboys last night, so I didn't look like a big doofus all weekend long. But continue to cash tickets in college hoops and in NHL, and we had the Lakers in the in-season tournaments. So it was good. It was a very interesting. I mean, for an odds maker point of view, it was very busy with boxing odds. Who's Ryan Garcia going to fight next? Who is Tank Davis going to fight next? There's a whole bunch of UFC prop bets. There's a whole bunch of bowl game prop bets. So for a odds maker point of view, I was super busy. I just want to get to a couple questions that were in the queue. Carl White said there was nothing posted in the BPA and this game. That's because probably no one had anything in this game. I talked to a lot of cappers, just in general, just here in Docs and in other people. And people just didn't like these two games, period. So that's probably why there was nothing on there, Carl. I apologize for that one. So sometimes, hey, we're just like normal gamblers. If we don't see value, we're not going to play just because it's a Monday night football game. We're not going to put action. I'm not my twin brother who's just going to bet it just because something's on TV. So I apologize on that one. And Anthony Jones, what's going on? Hope you're having a great Monday. Hope you can enjoy these two Monday night football games. But Griff, I have a cocktail today. I actually have a cocktail. So what are you drinking?
In my left hand right here, I got a coffee, just straight black coffee. My right hand, I'm starting it up with a little tequila, Casamigo Blanco, little orange juice, just a little spray, just to get it going here. But that's what I'm on right now. What do you got in your cup? What's over there?
I got a nice hot chocolate with a little peanut butter whiskey, liquid Reese's peanut butter cup, as I like to call it. So
about that.
My sweet tooth kicks my ass at nighttime, so it kind of gets me away from eating ice cream or cake or something really bad. So have a little hot chocolate, peanut butter whiskey, and knocks the sweet tooth off while I'm watching. Well, let's face it, not that big of a sports thing. We have two Monday night games. What? Only a handful of college hoop plays, a handful of hockey games. I know a bunch of NBA games. It was a really light game for you. But yeah, do you want to start off with the free plays?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And earlier you were saying a lot of people didn't find value in this game. And I understand that from a capper standpoint. On Monday Night Football, you necessarily don't want to lay a lot of points. And I'm going to get into this breakdown right now. There is value with this Dolphins game. And there's a reason I don't have a play on it. It's because it's Monday Night Football. And I don't love to lay a lot of points on Monday night, especially because there's so much trickery. But you got to look at it like this. The Dolphins right now, they're undefeated at Hard Rock right now at 5-0. They're playing a team that is 0-6 currently on the road, and they are backed up by a rookie quarterback out of Kentucky with Will Levis. Great quarterback. I think he's got a very, very good future. But as of right now, you're putting a lot on the kid. The kid's going on the road. He's playing consecutive games with a losing team. There's no winning atmosphere there. And you're playing a team that has the most dynamic offense in all of football. When you want to talk about route running, you've got Hill, you've got Mozart, you've got Waddle. I mean, they are number one in total offensive yards right now in all football. They're number one in passing yards. I want to say they're second in the rush game, and I want to say they're second in points per game at like 32 points per game. I mean, this team is outstanding, and they've covered the spread over and over and over again consistently. 9-3 against the spread, 9-3 record right now overall. Rafael, this team is rolling, and it seems that anytime that they play kind of a nonchalant team, will they beat the living crap out of them? And that's kind of what I'm expecting in tonight's matchup with the Dolphins. So my first free play rolling into this game, I'm laying the 13.5 points with the Dolphins. Rafael?
Yeah, I would say DraftKings just moved it to 14 while you were breaking it
Take them
down.
at 14. Take a
So
punt.
I would take that one. I'm going against the public. Right before we jumped on air, one of the casinos I do consulting work sends me their consensus of money coming in. 52% coming in on an under. I like the opposite. I think we're going to see with what you just said right now. I think the Dolphins are going to be able to score. Now it just dropped down to 44, and I'm actually probably going to play a little bit as we're on the air right now. Caesars and FanDuel just moved it to 44. It's coming down. It was 45 earlier this afternoon. I think we're going to see some point scoring. If you figure if you're Tennessee, who's been able to run the ball lately, King Henry finally showing up, has back-to-back games, back-to-back decent games. I think Levis does some smart stuff with his arm and his legs. I think we're going to see some points scored in this one. So I like to over 44. Make sure, again, we talked about this all the time. Make sure you have multiple outs when you're gambling, because why would you could take Caesars and FanDuel at 44, but Westgate, DraftKings, and even Circa has 45. Why would you take a bad number just because that's the only book on there? I'm grabbing a nice number. Give me the over.
I'm going flat out simple in this one, and that's going to be, and everybody, obviously, risk is always going to be accumulated with this. Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown scorer. In their 12 games this season, he scored a touchdown in 8 of those 12 games. The guy's going off. The line is at a -180, and I hate giving that free play out, but that is a play that I truly believe will cash. And I know a lot of you out there hate parlays and everything like that. It is definitely something to keep in mind, but I'm going at you guys. I have another good play that's at an even line. Don't worry, Raphael, and everybody else. I have another play after this. But I love the Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown score, but be careful with your bankroll on how you play this game. Obviously, you're getting crappy odds, so you have to play it smart. Raphael?
I was shaking your head because I love my drink. I wasn't doing anything negative to you. I love your drink. I'm going to go for another prop bet with a touchdown. Give me King Henry, Derrick Henry, plus 140 to score a touchdown. His last 2 games, he scored 4 touchdowns. I know he was a slump his last 5 games, but his last 2, he's been dominant rushing the ball. They're going to need a big running game for him to keep that Dolphins offense off the field. That's what Tennessee's going to do. I think Tennessee's going to establish the run. I think Derrick Henry puts a touchdown in, so I'm hoping we see that, and it helps me with my total as well if I see Derrick Henry scoring a touchdown. So give me him plus 140 to score a touchdown.
I like it. And my last play going at you guys, obviously I just gave you guys my full breakdown on this game and getting straight to it. The rookie out of Kentucky, Will Levis. Well, he's on the road in this matchup. They're definitely going to be playing the chase game. He's definitely going to have to make a lot of irrational decisions. Is he going to be airing the ball out a lot early and often? Probably. Is he going to connect is the main answer, where I do not think he's going to do so. So my play going at this right now is hitting Will Levis under 205.5 passing yards. Again, Will Levis under 205.5 passing yards.
What did I tell you? If you're talking about Will Levis, it's Levi's. It's not Levis, it's Levi's.
Whatever you want to call it. He's a stud. I like the kid, but you know what? I like him a lot better in Nashville.
Here's another one. I just said that the Tennessee Titans are going to need to establish to run in this game with their running backs and maybe Will Levi's with his nice boot cut Levi's running around. I like his rushing yards over 4.5 at -120. They're going to do anything and everything to get first downs again to keep the Miami Dolphins offense off the field. So I would not be shocked if you see him his last game against the Colts. He rushed for a whopping 5 yards. If I can get 5 yards today, I'll do backflips. I don't care. That's cashes my ticket. So I see all people running the ball to keep the Dolphins offense off the field. So give me Will Levis on his total rushing yards over 4.5. I have one more. We're going to go with the other game. I'm going to give the Green Bay Packers some love. I'm going to take Jordan Love over 10.5 total rushing yards.
Game.
I have the over 10.5 rushing yards with Jordan Love. He's been just dominant his last couple of games through his arm and his legs. I think he has a great game through his arms and a great game through his feet. I like the total. I thought this was going to be 12.5. I was actually shocked when they all posted up to 10.5. So I think great value with Jordan Love. They need this game because the Lions lost yesterday. They need this game if they want to try to sneak up and maybe grab this division.
Well, I'm on the other side with this one. I'm with the Giants on this game for the strict being Giants are on a 2-game winning streak right now. They're coming off a bye. This team has not played since November 26th. So they've been off for a little bit. Now they're coming into Monday Night Football. Yes, everybody is hot and high on Green Bay right now. I want to say through DraftKings, I want to say 66% of the money right now is on Green Bay against the spread. And looking at this game right now, Green Bay has played three-game winning streak, 3 teams. Detroit, the Chargers, who suck. Detroit's kind of dwindling right now, and the Chiefs, who have now dropped 2 games in a row, and they just haven't really got it together. So when I really look at this game, Giants coming in, fresh feet, fresh legs, Saquon. I really like the Giants in this game. I'm rolling with them in the 6 points.
I'm with you on this one. I don't have to break it down because we got people firing questions right now, so I'm going to try to catch up. Arun, is Christmas your guys' busiest time of year? No, March is, because you have March Madness, NBA, NHL, sometimes baseball, spring practice, or spring training it is. You have soccer going on as well. So I always say March Madness is crazy going on, just because in March Madness you have so many college basketball games, so many NBA games, hockey going on. Their playoffs are getting ready to start. So in my point of view, I think that is probably one of our busiest times a year. And Carl White just aged us. He says he's been with Docs for 50 years before we were born. Hey, I just turned 50, Carl White. So you aged Griffin. You didn't age me. I just turned 50. So but thank you for being a fan for us. And yes, I was working at Caesar's Palace. I'll tell you a quick story. My first year at Caesar's Palace at the Sportsbook, college football time of year. And I remember a supervisor was like, "Hey, we need everyone on the line to keep an eye on this game. Keep an eye on this game." And they're like, "What game is it?" It's like, "It's a Big Ten game. Doc Sports' game of the year is Big Ten." I'm like, "So?" They're like, "Oh, everyone will bet this one. Everyone will bet this game, and everyone bet this game." And it won. The year after that, it lost. But that was when I really knew the name of Doc Sports and his big. I mean, he was on a ridiculous Big Ten a game a year one, and that was in 90. I think it was 96. I think it was. That was kind of interesting to see that in action behind the counter. People betting that one, so that was kind of fun. And look at our boy Victor's back in the house.
Victor, how we doing, brother? Victor is back. You can't give a -180 play. Carl White, I gave 3 other plays out, brother, and I'm not done yet. We still got Saquon anytime touchdown scorer in this game. I like the Giants in this game. I just gave my breakdown out. And listen, we got another quarterback backup in this game. Who you give the ball to when you're in scoring position? Your best player. Who's your best player? Saquon Barkley, whether he's getting that in the backfield or in the air. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown scorer, plus value play. There's your play, Carl. Don't worry, brother. I got you.
Anthony Jones likes Tennessee plus the 14. He's got like both dogs. Jones does. He's got Tennessee plus 14 and the Giants plus the 6. And Victor says he also likes both dogs.
I'm with the Giants tonight, and I'm laying the 13.5, 14 as it shifted with the Dolphins. Dolphins they put on a tear against any brutal team that they play whatsoever, especially a team that's 0-6 on the road right now. And Nashville's been struggling, or Nashville. Tennessee's been struggling
The Predators have been struggling too. You had that correct.
Predators have been struggling as well on the NHL side of things for sure. Saquon over Victor rolling in right now. Jordan Love over Pat. Don't you have you got his rushing yards.
I got his rushing, but I was looking at his passing yards. As I dug deep in there, I thought it was pretty much the correct number. I didn't see any value in that, but I did look at that earlier. I almost released that as my one of my premium plays over at Docs for the game, but it fell short because just the more research I was doing, I just thought the number came out flat. And no, I didn't have any YouTube free plays today because I actually saw a shrink. I had to go see my shrink today, so there was a little skeptic on that. And I want to answer your question. Someone blew me up on YouTube saying that something about my YouTube free play. Why don't I track it? He does, blah, blah, blah. I'm a losing streak. I fade him all the time, which is fine. Fade my YouTube plays because if you're cashing tickets, that's all I care about. If you're cashing tickets, it doesn't matter. I look at my free plays like plays that, okay, maybe this game has value. I'm hoping this number comes down. I'm hoping this total goes down and stuff like that. That's fine. I'm more interested in my premium plays. I don't say leans. I don't say I like this game, bet this game and stuff like that. Free plays are free plays. If I'm hot, you ride me. If I'm not, you fade me. As long as you're putting money in your wallet, I don't care if I'm 0-10 in my free plays and you ride me 8 straight and you're cashing. You know what? congrats, cash those 8 free play tickets. Because you know what? I may be fading myself, though. I know when I'm ice cold and stuff. So,
And
yeah.
That's the biggest thing, Ralph, that people don't understand is the reason that they're free plays is because we don't have a premium play on them. These are our favorite leans. And I hate the terminology lean because it's kind of a nonchalant type of situation. But these are our favorite games that are not in our premiums that we're giving you full analysis and breakdowns on why we think that the possibility of it happening is going to happen. So, yeah, we go on cold streaks. It happens all the time. I get those comments all the time too, Ralph. And that's one of those things. Those are not our premium plays. If they were our best bets, they would be at docs on the premium thing.
Yeah, and I love when people say, "Oh, you stink. You lost your big unit play and stuff like that." And me and you had this discussion. I went a hockey year. I had a nice winning hockey season, and I was totally sucking on big plays, big unit plays. Couldn't cash one to save my life, but a 4-unit play and 3-unit play, I was money, and I ended up with a winning season. So I know people look at the BPA and only buy the big plays, but don't forget about those 4-unit plays. Why would you see a handicapper, let's say that's 8-0, and now he has a 4-unit play? Why would you not play that 4-unit play if he's 8-0? But it's not a 7-unit play or a 6-unit play, or it's not his game of the year or whatever. He's an 8-0 in NBA or college basketball. Who cares how many units is this? I would play until you're 8-3 or 8-4, because I just don't understand the mindset of some of that. Ride someone who's hot, no matter how many units it is, no matter whatever. Ride it when you're hot.
Anthony Jones, which game is everyone watching? I've got both of them pulled up, brother, and I already tell you, I love both Miami and the Giants in this game. We're going to be covering them both games all night long, first half, and we're going to be looking for some live bets in this game. So we will be posted and keep you in tune on that. But Arun,
Anthony, I have 6 games. I have both football. I have 2 NBA, and I have a hockey game going on right now.
Let's recap our free plays for everybody who wasn't here when we opened up. Ralph, I'll go first. I got the Dolphins -4 or 13.5. If you got them at -14, fine. Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown scorer. I know the odds aren't that great. I broke it down. Do not whale your bank account on it. Play safe with it. Will Levis, or like Ralph likes to say, Will Levi's, under 205.5 passing yards. And then rolling down to the other game, I've got the Giants +6, and I've got Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown scorer.
I'm with you. I get the G-Man plus the 6. I got Will Levi's over 4.5 rushing yards, 4.5. He got 5 yards his last game. I'm hoping he gets 5 yards in this game because that makes me a winner. We got Derrick Henry plus 140 to score a touchdown. Jordan Love over 10.5 rushing yards. And I got Texas, Miami over 44. That moved right before it came on, right where we were talking, moved to 44. FanDuel and Caesars moved it to 44. So I was able to jump on that one. So hopefully we can see some points. Looks like someone is down.
You know what?
Howard is down.
I'm going to pull up the line. I really think there's going to be a turnover on Will, as you like to say, Levi. I think he's going to throw a pick in tonight's game.
I almost played that just because I thought about that as well. But again, my analogy for the whole game was that they were going to be so dependent on the run game to keep that Dolphins, unless for some other reason this game gets out of hand.
The whole game. That's the problem. I think they're going to chase the whole game.
Well, if that's the case, then my free play is toilet paper. It's same, plain and simple. We got TP in the house.
You're talking about the most dynamic offense in all of football right now.
That is true.
There's no argument. I don't care what anybody says. There's no argument. You send those guys out, they're the fastest wide receivers you will ever find.
I would agree with that.
Looking at lines right now, I'm trying to find a.
Yeah, I don't see anything open right now. I don't see anything for interceptions right now.
I can't. Yeah, there's no passing props right now. Here we go. No player interceptions. Got it. Overs at a -154.
Yes.
I don't know if I like that.
No, I ain't laying that -154. You can't lay -154. Anthony would yell at you if you play -154.
No, it was Carl.
Carl. Yell at him, Carl.
Carl's out. You kidding me? I roll out another -155.
Carl will be calling way to get you fired. It was the Vince McMahon voice. You're fired.
Checking out the games right now. How are we looking? Do we have any action right now? Anyone moving the ball? So Ralph, I got to tell this story. My buddy. So I got to go back to Vegas tomorrow. Obviously, you know I'm moving to Vegas. So I have a flight out there tomorrow morning, and I'm going till Friday. And I made a bet with him yesterday. I was just shooting the crap with him, having some fun. And I was like, dude, you're coming to Vegas with me. And I'm trying to convince him. He goes, I'm going to cook up a parlay right now. Says the parlay hits, I'll come. He puts $25 on a 9-legger. Giants win right now. He's cashing out 6 G's real quick.
And he's hedge?
He did.
Good.
So he put 2 G's, I want to say, on the Packers, 1,500 on the Packers. I don't know what it was to hedge it. So either way, he said he's waking up with either 2K or 4K. So nice. I liked it. I like to lay it on the table, you know, but being a smart investor, that's what you do. That's the play.
Someone asked us, Victor asked us if we had an NBA plays. There's a bunch of games that I didn't pull the trigger on that I kind of wanted.
Colorado tonight, Victor.
I have Colorado 3-way tonight. I didn't want to lay that price because I didn't want Carl to yell at me for laying a bad price. And I'm not comfortable with the puck line with Carl, with Colorado, because they lost back-to-back home games, and they looked bad on those back-to-back home games. It wasn't like they lost on an empty netter or they looked bad. I can't trust Calgary. I can't trust Calgary and their goalie. They lost their starting goalie and the 2 other guys. So I just played it safe. I think I laid -120 on the 3-way. On Colorado. My luck, they'll probably do cover the puck line. I could have cashed a nice plus money ticket, but the way they've been playing at home, I couldn't trust them.
It's disappointing, dude, because Calgary is honestly a very good hockey team. All season, last season as well, they really did perform, and they made me a lot of money. And this year, all season long, I have yet to win a bet with or against Calgary. They've really just been a weird hockey team. I want to say they had 9 wins on the season. They're not even playing 500 hockey. I mean, they're getting beat up and down the ice.
Yeah, I agree. Spencer's in the house. What's up going on, boy?
Spencer, what's good, brother?
Spencer's happy that his Cowboys were. So is my twin brother. I think that's why he didn't want to come on the show today, because I think he's hung over from last night's Cowboy game. So I was busting his chops this morning, but he's probably hung over from last night's Cowboy victory. But congratulations, Spence. I'm not gonna lie, Cowboys looked good yesterday. I don't see them ahead of 49ers. Close.
No.
But I don't see them ahead. And I can't believe I'm saying that they're close. But the way they looked at home, I'm a little bit shocked. I had the free play on the Cowboy game over yesterday and didn't catch that. So I'm sure that guy that probably busted chops is probably laughed his booty off because the Eagles only scored 13 points. So I think I'm probably the biggest loser in the world. But it's not my fault. It was the right number. I mean, Cowboys averaging 41 points at home, and they scored 33. What do you want me to do?
You think we'd be having this conversation week 5 about Dallas and San Francisco being equivalents to each other? Obviously, no, they're not at the same tier, but they're in the mix now, and it's crazy. Dallas literally rolled Philly last night. Yes. They pounded them up and down the field early and often all game long. I'm watching this game. My buddy with the parlay, we're chilling watching this game. I'm laughing my ass off, man, because they're absolutely rolling him, and he's got Dallas. Kills them. So now, obviously, we got this one. I love the Giants in tonight's matchup too, man. There's a lot of pivotal points, key points on why I like this game.
I have to thank the Cowboys because they're the reason why I cashed a ticket yesterday in the NFL. So I have to, like I said, I was – I had to be grateful. Yeah, all right, you guys can blow up the comment section. You want to know what my big play was yesterday? My premium play yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're sitting down. Moderator, don't
over on the Minnesota game.
Yes, 40 over 40.
No.
Yep. Moderator she just spilled her wine all over the couch.
No, bro. I free played the under, and oh my Lord. I
was on a show last week on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, and we're both talking about that game, and we're both like, I think it's going to be an over game. I think both defenses are probably going to give up some long distance. I think Dobbs has a better game, blah, 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 blah. So when the number went, because it was 41 and it dropped to 40, I'm like, well, you know what? Now it's 40. I kind of like it even more. And so, But you know what? I think that's why my martinis tasted really well last night because I had no shot winning it. I didn't have to watch the game anymore. I love those games. If I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose that way than lose by a missed field goal or a missed extra point that hit the upright.
It's done. You could throw it away and say, all right, we're done with it. It's over.
Yeah, so I was the biggest loser. They should make a TV show. Remember The Biggest Loser? It should have just been me on TV yesterday.
I'll get a shirt printed out for you.
Thank you. I'll wear it right here. Biggest Loser. Minnesota Raiders over 3-0.
0-3. Biggest Loser. Rafael Esparza.
I will wear it.
And you could bring me the Biggest Winner shirt. Who do you think I had yesterday?
I'm trying to think. 49ers?
No,
they didn't cover.
I had an outright.
Never mind. I'm not even going to answer the question. I know what you had. You had the Bears.
I had the Bears, baby. Bear down. Yeah, Detroit's swindling, man. Yeah. Detroit is starting to really fall apart. You could see it 3 weeks ago. They're starting to get weaker and weaker, and their defense is allowing too much. Once they played the Chargers, you were able to really identify, all right, well, they're starting to allow a lot of points on that defensive side. Jared Goff, he cannot play in the cold. This man is 8-14 in January right now. And he's
Jared Goof.
Jared Goof is right. Jared Goof made me some money yesterday.
I was going to take the plus 3.5, but you know me, I have a really big ticket on the Green Bay Packers to win a division that I bet I think 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. So I'm thinking, okay, if the Bears win this game, that would hit the Lions lower in the. So I was like doing like hypotheticals in my head. So I didn't you know what? Let me just, if the Bears win, that's good for my Green Bay Packer ticket to win a division because the Lions will keep on sprouting. So I didn't want to do that.
Don't you hate that, man? You got futures bets out and everything like that, and you're just like, well, I want to take this game. I love this game. I got a futures bet out for this. And you start getting all. That's why I hate fantasy football. This is I already told. Listen, I'm 11-2 right now. I'm about to be 12-2. I'm absolutely rolling. I'm dicing the whole league. But I am never playing again. I told them. I said I will never. Yesterday, I'm watching. I got the Bears and Jamar Gibbs is my running back, and I'm watching him, and he's taking off, and I'm like, oh, that's good for. And I'm just like, the hell with the fantasy. I don't care about that. Yeah. We got money on the game. This is a top pick. Let's play. I was like, I'm done with that. I ain't playing again. I messaged the commissioner, told him I'm out. No more.
I've never played fantasy football, baseball, and all that. I played one fantasy sport. I was working at ARIA when I was a director, and they did a fantasy NASCAR league. And the only reason
play that.
I don't know, but the only reason why I played it because I wanted to use the words. Remember the old laundry detergent, Spick and Span? So I got the logo and I put like NASCAR tires and I put myself as a driver in the soapbox. That was the only reason why I wanted to.
How'd you do?
I have no clue. I don't even think I submitted drivers. I just wanted the name. I think I let the computer do everything.
You got auto draft. Oh, you did all that.
Yeah, it was $25. It was $25, but it was well worth the logo I got to use.
I love it. All right, so we still got no scores expected. We got another Monday Night Football.
Of course it's no score. We had one Monday Night Football game that had scoring, and I had the under in the game. So that's how it was. Literally. But right now we got Detroit. New York with the ball on the 50. I'm thinking Detroit because I'm just thinking about my Chicago Bears and that Detroit basketball.
That beautiful lock, Ralph. Threw the keys away. I said it's a lock. We're done.
Never used the L word.
I didn't throw it until there was about 45 seconds left in the game. I was getting phone calls, and I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear it. Call me when the game's over. Then I was getting text messages, and I responded to I apologize. I responded to the text messages, and I said, it's a lock. Throw the keys. We're done. 45 seconds left.
I was working at MGM Sportsbook when Wisconsin played UNLV football. Wisconsin was rolling them. Easy. They were going to cover the tickets. We had people waiting for the game to be over in the sports book. Oh, it's a lock. We're gonna kiss this one, and the power goes out, and they don't redeem the game, and so we had to refund all those tickets. Oh, I thought it was gonna die. Oh, it was brutal.
People pulling you over the counter.
Oh, they would have if I got out of my office. But yeah, it was one of those days where I think I'm gonna take the back part out of the hotel.
Getting out quick. For everybody who hasn't been in here right now, let's give out our free plays again. I've got the Dolphins minus 13.5 or minus 14, whatever you snag them at. Tyreek Hill, again, Carl, don't get mad at me. Anytime touchdown scorer because he's converted 8 touchdowns in 12 games of the season. Will, as Ralph likes to call him, Levi. Under 205.5 passing yards. Then shifting gears to the other game, I've got the Giants, and I'm getting the 6 points plus 6. Barkley, anytime touchdown scorer. Raphael?
I also got the G-Man plus 6. I got King Henry plus 140 to score a touchdown. That's Derrick Henry. Jordan Love over 10.5 total rushing yards. I got the Titans Miami over 44 in the game. And then I have Levi's over 4.5 rushing yards. Lane minus 125 or minus 120, I think it was.
Let's cash them. Let's cash them, ladies and gents. We've been doing pretty good on our Monday night show.
Yeah, you know what we need to do is put them. We need to put them. Maybe I'll put them in, or you send me and I'll put them in the comments after the show so people can see if they're watching them late and stuff like that. And they want to jot them down.
I have them all on a spreadsheet. I'll pull them up. I'll pull up all our picks.
Mine's just I'm generic, old school. I got
them all on the laptop.
Well, that's because you're 20 and I'm 50. We didn't have computers when we were handicapping back in the day.
28. All right, I'm getting on 30 here, and it's like, holy shit, this is really happening. You know what? Where's Robert? I want to talk Bears football with Robert. I want to talk.
Oh yeah, he's a big Bears fan.
I want to talk playoff potentials. We got to win out. We got to
playoff games. Oh, then I'll log off. If you guys gonna start talking playoffs, I'm gonna log off.
Dude, because you could hear too on TV. You watch the Bears game, and every single commentator who's speaking on the game, they're all scared to talk about it. Everybody's shivering. They all say, "Wow, this team's really transformed," but nobody will touch the topic yet. I'm going to tell you
what the no is for the Bears to make the playoffs.
They listen. They have a 70 or 68% chance if they win all 4 of their games from the.
And what the odds are? The odds for them to make the playoffs.
2,500 plus 2,500.
The yes is 4 plus 1,400, and the no is minus 5,000.
Okay. I don't like the odds. It's bad. Yeah, no. We've got to beat the Browns. We've got to beat the Falcons. I know Green Bay's in there. There's one other team in there. I think they're all tough games.
Yeah, Zooted Monkey's in the house. So we love you too for watching.
Zooted, what's good, brother? How we feeling? Victor, receiving yards. Doesn't look – well, here we go. Where's Tyreek Hill on that anytime touchdown?
Oh, fumble.
Act.
Oh, sorry. You're ahead of me.
Second and goal. I'm ahead of you?
No. Watch it. Keep on watching.
What are you on?
I'm on the Giants Green Bay game. Or no, I'm watching the Dolphins Titans game.
How do you bet once Miami scores? Carl, you can live bet, but I wouldn't live bet once the team that you like has already scored and they're already up. I don't like live betting on top of that. That's where you kind of want to go for in-game props. You want to find something like that. Just me personally, it's not something I do. I like to look at the games where the teams that I like are losing. And when they're losing, I can go ahead and live bet them. Once they're losing, then I already had that intuitive, and obviously my analysis is all broken down. So I no longer feel like it's a gamble situation. But when you're already winning and you start live betting, the odds are all different. Everything's already as Zooted Monkey, new member, everything's zooted up. It's all messed up. So that's kind of my theory with live betting.
Zooted Monkey has one of my favorite names right now. So if
sure.
Me and the wife were going to have kids, but we're not, I would name my kid Zooted.
All right. So listen, we're in the red zone on both screens.
Yeah, Miami fumbled in the red zone. Tennessee's got the ball.
Wow. And Green Bay's pinned back on their own 5.
It's going to be another low-scoring game because I don't have any action on the total as a premium play. Last time we were here, I had premium play on the total, and it was a bloodbath.
Well, we could talk shop. I mean, we could talk NFL this week. We could talk bowl games. I mean, is that
bowl games?
Whatever.
Bowl game starts Saturday, and everyone knows who's probably been a Docs member. I play every bowl game. There's 41 bowl games. I will have action on every 41 bowl games. I'm looking for 3 straight bowl game year winners. Had a monster 2 years ago. I think it was up $6,000 on bowl games. I think last year was up 3. I'm hoping to continue that. So bowl games start on Saturday. I will have all action on 41. And people know this. I only play one game of the year on each sport. We're giving a certain amount. For me, I only play one a year, and it's my one and only. I just look at it that because I don't like to. I hate using that word game of the year because it's such cliches. I feel like I'm in the 1980s on a 1-800 number. Call me now. Get my game of the year guarantee winner. And then on the phone line, I'm giving the other side or something like that. So
my football game of the year.
I hate the word game of the year. So, but like I said, I only do it once every sports. But in football, I do one game of the year in both NFL and only in NFL and college, and then I do one in college. I do one in college bowl games. So football season, I do two. It's the only sport I do two on.
Spencer, looking at that game, let me pull it up really quick. But I can just tell you off the top of my head, I know what's it called. Let me confirm this before I start speaking out loud. Yeah, Colts are coming off a loss. That's what I like the Colts in that game. I think the Steelers are just a complete disaster. They've been there all season long at the quarterback spot. They have no answers. You don't know if Trubisky's playing, Pickett's playing. Half the time, Pickett does play, and when he does play, he gets hurt. It doesn't matter the situation. I love their coach. I think they have a phenomenal coach, and that's the reason that they still have a positive record. Indy's been really good. I mean, Indy was just on a tear. I want to say they were on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. And that's with Gardner Minshew at the quarterback spot. And he's been pretty good, I got to say. Their defense is really playing solid football. Let me get some stats. Where is this game being played?
Did you see Will Levis do an interception, pick 6?
Which I don't necessarily love because Colts do play better on the road. Did Will Levis just throw a pick?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't throw that because Carl would have got mad at me.
Yeah.
I would have lost Carl.
Blame Carl. Carl said, Carl's the one that told Miami scored.
That one's on you. But no, I like the Colts better, to be honest with you, on the road this season. At home, they are 2-4. I haven't completely digested their entire slate, what they've done at home, who they've played against. I know they play good on the road, and I know they've beaten tough opponents on the road. I don't love the game. I haven't gone through my analysis yet. I do that on Tuesdays typically. So, Ralph, you got any take on it? If I had to go with it, I would go. If it stays at -2.5, go money line with the Colts. That would be my play. Just off the top of my head, just me spitballing with you on live here. Ralph?
I haven't been able to figure out the Colts all season long. I'm a fan of the Steelers. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I'm a little bit shocked that the total's 42 on this one because the Colts, people never talk about their defense. Their defense is pretty good as well.
Yes, it is.
So I'm a little bit shocked. This one opened up at 39, about bet up to 42.
And pick
like I said, I'm not a big fan. Like I said, I can't figure out the Colts. Sometimes I'll bet them and they lose. Sometimes I fade them and they win. So this one, and I'm mad at it. Why is there 3 Saturday football games? It drives me freaking nuts. There's 3 NFL games. There's bowl games on Saturday. There's college basketball, but the NFL has to be dumb and put 3 NFL games on Saturday. So I'm kind of a little bit mad at the NFL right now for putting 3 games on TV. And another really good one: Minnesota, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh Colts, and Denver, Detroit. I mean, Denver, Detroit's a good one, but
yeah, for sure. Denver's been really sparking as of late, man. They went on that tear, took that loss. Everybody, I free played them on the Gridiron 6-pack, and they absolutely annihilated last week, as they should have. I figured. But where I was really disappointed, Raphael, did you happen to catch the Jets? Where did that?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was nuts.
They roll over Houston like that. I was like, oh my, Houston looked like absolute garbage, and the Jets looked like they had Tom Brady back at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's funny how that happens. I mean, that killed a lot of parlays, a lot of teasers and stuff like that. So I'm sure it helped the books out, but I didn't see that one coming at all, just because you know me, I've been bashing CJ Stroud because he's from the Ohio State, and the Ohio State don't produce NFL quarterbacks. I've been telling people that my crow has been marinated, and if the Houston makes the playoffs, I was going to eat that crow. I took it out of marinade, and I threw it away because losing to the Jets, that could be a game that they're going to come back and say, wow, we didn't make the playoffs because of that game right there.
Detrimental to their season.
Yeah.
That's huge implications.
I took the crow out of the marinade, and I said, too bad. I'm not going to eat you.
Carl, Tony's not going to be jealous. Are you kidding me? Me and Tony were hanging out on Friday. I was or Thursday. We were over at Circa together. We hung out, had a couple drinks. Tony knows we do the Monday night. He loves it. He tunes in from time to time. Tony's in here watching sometimes. I didn't know that. He told me that at Circa. He's
Tony's he can't be jealous because once the football's over, he goes high. He doesn't do any. So me and Griff will be here during NBA and college basketball. Tony will be doing nothing after the Gridiron 6. That's why that's why I like doing these shows, because I don't want, if Griff ain't doing it, I'll probably do it myself, because I want to talk NBA and college hoops and hockey and stuff like that. But
hey, I'm past, brother. I'm always
no. I'm just saying, like, if you no, I'm not saying you're not. But I'm just saying if you weren't, I would probably still do it.
I gotcha. But no, me and Tony have been talking about stuff as well on top of the gridiron. We saw a lot of people in the comments put out a bunch of suggestions like survivor pools and stuff like that. We haven't decided yet. We talked about it. Once we figure something out, we'll go forward with it and let everybody know before the last gridiron show. But yeah, we are. Carl, we're rolling 70% right now. We're 3-1 again this week. Last week we swept. I actually, unfortunately, have the only loss this week with Houston getting rolled. But we did capitalize as well on a win yesterday. I can't remember the exact winner yesterday, but we did hit a win.
Nice.
What sport do you guys like to handicap the most? Honestly, I would say baseball, but there's so many games. I could break down baseball better than any sport. Football, I love football because the enjoyment. Football is just everybody loves football. How could you not? So it's just that sport. I love them all. Like I can't pick a favorite. My least favorite would be my best sport, which is NBA. That would be my least favorite.
Mine is my favorite. It's probably a tie because I make the most between college basketball and WNBA. My least favorite, my number one least favorite, is the NFL. If NFL wasn't creme of the creme,
I know
I would probably only have one play a month or something. I just don't see the enjoy. Maybe because I worked in this industry for 20 plus years, and this industry sucked the love out of NFL for me because we have to. Part of my friends blow the NFL at any time as possible, and I think that's why it sucks to air. I mean, that's why probably it's the reason why I hate Christmas music, because I worked in retail so many years. I had to hear Christmas music all day long. I think that's why my love of the NFL, because this job makes me think of the NFL 365 days a year, and I think that's why I don't enjoy. And it's a bad product on TV. There was a handful of games yesterday that I couldn't believe that this was the NFL. It was just total bad product. And the stands, you can even tell by the stands. People are staying at home. Why would you spend more money on tickets, food, beer, booze, when you can sit at home and watch it and drink your own beer and eat your own food? Right. It's just a bad product.
Right here, we got the flat screen right there.
Yeah, we're better than the Manning brothers. They're not drinking. We're drinking. What are the Manning brothers doing? Drinking orange juice and water?
Right. They're all drinking. But I will say,
I don't know. I don't know about I don't think the Mannings are drinking.
No.
Maybe Cooper.
They're probably at the simulator right now hitting golf balls, watching the game.
Yeah, maybe Cooper might be drinking. That's what we need to try to do. That'd be fantastic if we could get Cooper Manning on our show, because he's never been. I don't think he's ever been on his brother's show. Oh,
let's contact him.
That would be hilarious.
Listen, we need you to make a phone call. Let's get it done.
Oh, that would be hilarious. If
Megan is back. Is it Brian or wait, Megan Young? Is it Megan?
Yeah.
Is it
Megan and Brian? Megan and Brian. We're the twins must be sleeping by now. That's why he's late. We've been out for 45 minutes and he just jumped on. They had a hard time putting the twins to bed.
Yeah, Carl, baseball was definitely tough for me as well. I will say I went on a crazy run mid-season. I went on like 42-16 run, 17 run. But playoffs are what detrimented my season. I got beat up in the postseason. The D-backs were really killing me. I was riding on the Braves It's riding on the Dodgers, and those two just got absolutely annihilated. Brian, what's good, brother? How we feeling? Spencer, feel like value in NHLs. See, I love NHL, and I think there is value for the reason being puck line. Goalies get pulled always in a 1-point game with 2 minutes left in the game. And that's where you can really capitalize on some big value plays. That's one of my plays tonight is with Colorado. I love that. I just see always value in those type of plays. You find the better team. Who's going to be up in the third period? Well, they're going to pull the goalie. And what are your odds of the puck being put in the net? Pretty high, considering the fact that as soon as the ball crosses midline, they're going in.
Spencer, I like his smaller conferences in college basketball games. This is Spencer. It's the best time to bet small conferences in college basketball. Put a perfect example. On Saturday, we have 3 junky NFL games because the NFL are viewing public whores. We have NHL on there. We have UFC 296. The odds makers are going to be looking at NFL odds. They're going to be looking at UFC 296 odds coming in. They might not be looking at the Sun Belt Conference college basketball games or the MAC college football games and stuff like that. This is where you can find value where maybe someplace in the world hit that number and then you hit it, but they forgot to move it because they were too busy watching the NFL money come in or the UFC 296 money or the NBA money or all this other money. This is the perfect time to jump on small conference college basketballs because the odds makers are focusing on NFL.
Ralph spitting out knowledge, straight knowledge. That's technical right there. I love that. I love that because I agree. I think there is so much value in non-conference crappy college basketball games. If you guys see a lot of my big plays and a lot of my premium plays, they are small conference games for that reason. There's a lot of trickery bets that you can really sniff out trap lines. Like yesterday, I had Iowa State against who they play. Somebody garbage. They beat them by 50 points. I was laying 23.5. You could find a lot of crappy games. Iowa State, they're a good team. So that wasn't the greatest example. But like Fordham, that's a team that I absolutely love. There's a lot of games like that where you can sniff out value. And Raphael really countered that with it's because the books are so busy dealing with the big games that they don't care.
The big games. He said, the Minnesota Vikings Cincinnati game was a really big game. Oh, maybe because it's in the NFL. Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of really small teams in college basketball that you need to keep an eye out. James Madison. Colorado State. What happened?
Tyreek Hill's hurt.
Oh, that's not good.
What's going on? He's walking. He's fine. He's fine. He'll be fine.
They're amputating it. They're amputating in the tent.
Right. No, he'll be just fine. What's it called? Ralph, I didn't mean to cut you off. Tyreek.
No, I'm glad because I didn't see that. But like I said, keep an eye for some of these small schools in the tournament. James Madison, Colorado State, FAU again, who made it to the Final Four.
Right.
That's a team that you could probably bank on. They started off 7-2 already this year, and those 2 losses were a bigger school. So keep an eye out for some of these smaller schools in the tournament.
Who did they just drop to? I was just looking at that. They just lost to
pull it up right now. I can't remember.
It was somebody good.
Oh, Illinois. Hey, they lost to Illinois.
Was it Illinois?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Their two losses were Illinois and Bryant. But when they lost to Bryant, they didn't have 2 of their stars. I think they were both ill or sick.
Okay, yeah. I looked at that and I was like, how did they lose to Bryant? Where did that go? Because, dude, how about them in the Madness tournament?
That was nuts.
Dude, are you crazy? Once they got to the final, I want to say the Sweet 16, I was like, yo, this team's rolling right now. Started riding them.
Yeah.
What's going on? Sorry. Are you in front of me right now? What do you got? I think they just converted a first down. Dolphins touchdown. I missed it.
It was a defensive guy. I think it was a nose tackle, if I'm not mistaken.
What do we got here? We've got Green Bay still at zeros.
Yeah.
Is he out of bounds?
Ooh, that's first down. He wasn't at a let's see. That's a first. He stretches, he still hasn't hit.
It's not good.
That's a first down.
He'll be fine. He'll be back in the game. He's the cheetah.
Amputated.
What's going on here? Yeah, Dolphins are going to absolutely steamroll them, dude. It's already 7-0. I know. What was it? Tony's got gridiron. Yeah, we have a first half on this. What was it? First half on this game, Dolphins -7. So we're already pushing it. And they look like they're going to go in right now. Let's see what's Green Bay doing. They're moving the ball.
Brian says, "Yeah, I wish I had more time to look into sports, but I'm still learning." Hey, you know what? Start off small, Brian. When I first got into the industry and betting myself, I'm not ashamed to say it, I started betting $5.50 to win $5. I had a small bankroll, and I just wanted to build it. I just didn't want to put all my bankroll into a 1 year of NFL or 1 year and all that. So I bet really, really small. And then when I started winning, I bumped it up to 11 to win 10. Bigger plays. If I liked the game, I was betting 22 to win 20, but it all adds up. So, and I was, let's see, I was a junior in high school. So I was, but yeah, you don't have to bet 110 to win 100 right now or 220 and stuff like that. Bet small. The main goal is when you put your head on that pillow when you go to bed, are you waking up with more money in your wallet than you woke up? If it's $1, if it's $2, if it's $5, hey, you know what? You woke up, you're going to bed $5 richer.
Yeah, everything Ralph's saying is perfect because I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. See, I transferred into this from trading the financial markets. So I started off in this really, really hot, and I did really, really good. And I made a lot of money really fast, and it was too much money. And that's when my $5,000 wagers started coming, my $10,000 wagers. I maxed out a game. I put $52,000 on a wager. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I hope I'm allowed to say that. I put 50. Yeah, I lost that game, by the way. I had the Dodgers against the Athletics run line. I'll never forget that. And I went to bet for that game. I went to bet for that game because I did not want to watch any of it. I had a crazy system going where I was literally starting with 3K. I was rolling it to 6. I was double down all day until the last game. Got to the last game, 52K, put it all on the Dodgers. They ended up, didn't go my way, whatever. So I had some very, very ugly, hard, painful nights that I had to go through that I had to triumph through. So instead of starting that way, it's better off to start small and get yourself to the high level so you don't have to go through that crap because there's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of looking up at the sky, asking God why type of nights. So, yeah, you don't want to live that way. You don't want to go that route.
I learned my lesson as when I was booking games. I would see people like you that were like, "Hey, that weren't paid because they went on a 4-game and their betting habits were the same." I'm like, "Hey, if you're cold, why would you not bet something like slower? Like if I think he was a $500 better and he was ice cold. I'm like, why didn't your next bet like 110 or $55 or something like that?" But he was chasing, and then next thing you know, me and my buddy had nice watches. I don't understand people's mind, and I get it. That's why people parlay. They see how much this ticket's gonna pay. If I make $100, I'm helping a guy write a book right now. About how parlays are not as good as what the media and what people always say about it, and it's very interesting to see how bad people would do that. And so, I highly recommend, like you said, starting off slow.
Yeah, start slow. He's on the sidelines right now. I would anticipate, super unknown, that he will be back in the game. He was walking. I think he'll be back in the game. If not, it's not a season-ending injury. He'll be back next week.
It looked like, for me, in my point of view, they were prepping him for surgery. They were putting an IV, and they had a saw. So I don't know if he's gonna.
Good, brother.
Yes, I do, Carl. Every time I do my videos, I say, "Don't bet what you don't have," because you don't. I tell that to my brother. I tell it to my friends.
That's the quote.
Don't bet what you don't have, especially with me, who's being married. Don't bet Don't bet all your allowance.
He'll say it before we get off this live tonight.
Yep. Yep. It's a thing that I learned very, very early in this industry. You don't bet what you don't have.
See, I had to learn. I learned at 24 years old. I made way too much money at 24 years old, and I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, you'll probably be saying that the same thing when you move into Vegas. You're like, "This town isn't for me. I got to get out of here."
Dude, I was there.
I'm playing blackjack at 2 a.m. I gotta get out of here.
Dude, I was there for 24 hours. I went down 2K on blackjack. I was
Oh my gosh.
On top of everything else, I'm like, I just turned a 1-day trip into this was like a $3,000 adventure. Like,
I would tell people like since I was working in casinos, I would have to attend those corporate meetings and a blackjack tape the people were there, and they would just reel off the numbers on how much they made for that day and a month in blackjack and craps and table. And I'm like, why do people play these? I'm like, no, losing money is not fun. I'm sorry.
There's ways to win. There's ways to win, and I'm not talking about counting cards. You got to have a system. You can't have a greedy system. You can go to a blackjack table. No, yes, you have a 33% chance to win each hand. I get that. But you can hit them hard enough, quick enough. If you're smart, you put down, say, whatever
not that many people are like that. They see the money. They see the chick stepped up and what they started. And now they're betting what they normally don't.
Race tonight, baby. And then you win it all and you go and you put it all on black and lose it.
Yeah, no.
Now, I did the chase game with that, and I went actually black, and it rolled out and went red. All right, well, that was a quick.
We have to tell the viewers we have a special guest that's coming in pretty shortly. He already texted me and all that. Robert Fringo is coming on to the show. He'll be coming on hopefully in the next 5 minutes. I talked to him. I was trying to get IC, even trying to get my twin brother on there so we can make fun of his betting habits, but he coaches his son's basketball team. Well, I don't know. I think he's still hungover because he's a big Dallas Cowboy fan. So Robert Fringo will be joining us to talk a little anything you want to talk about. So it'd be fun. I think he's going to probably stay on the show all the way till we log off at halftime. So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, let's get Robert on. I'm jacked up. We got some Bears football to talk about.
Oh, I think that's when I'll go take a shower and I'll come back just to say don't bet what you don't have, and we'll call it a day.
You think Robert will blast me for saying Bears playoff potentials?
Ooh, I would say yes.
You think he's gonna go there? We're gonna test it. We're gonna test it.
Nah. Zudin, not only for Ringo. Indian Cowboys not coming on today. We had him on. Was it our second show, Griff? That IC came on.
Yeah, second show.
Yeah, we'll have him on again. He's always pumped up to do it, stuff like that. IC's got 2 kids. I mean, when he says I have kid stuff, I understand it because my brother has 4, and I remember when they were little. So that's not an excuse when he says, "Oh, I can't get the kids to go down," or that's 100% real. So when he told me 9 times out of 10 when we're doing the show, he's trying to put the kids down. Totally agree with him. Totally understand with him. So he'll be on again.
I actually was on the phone with him about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. I would say I was driving. Yeah, he's with the kids today. He sounded busy. I heard the car door ringing. I was like, he's slammed right now.
Yeah,
I see Blitz. I see's the man. I love that guy. Seriously, great dude.
He's like the OG of YouTube.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a lot longer than any of us been on for stuff like that. So I got to give him kudos for his following on YouTube, for doing it so long,
right?
And all that. So his great consistency. So he's the OG of sports gambling on YouTube, not just docs on YouTube. I would say, and just sports gambling. So I got to give him kudos for that. Is Gonzaga? No, last year's Gonzaga team, I would probably lay 40. They can't shoot the 3 ball that well, Victor. So be very, very cautious with Gonzaga this year.
Yeah, I didn't want to bite on that one either. And I looked at it like, dude, I watched it jump. It was 37.5. I watched it within 1 minute jump to 40.5. I was like, something's going on with this line. I don't like it.
Victor, when was the last time you saw Gonzaga point spread 40 and a total only 142? Normally Gonzaga numbers are 40 and a total is like 168 and stuff like that. The total right there, it tells you that they're struggling to score points. Is Gonzaga going to win? Yes, I totally agree on that. But
I would hope so.
I wouldn't touch it just because I'm not sold on their outside shooting.
There's no value in the game just in general. I actually have. So let me see who I laid out today.
I went dark in college hoops today. I saw no value for me in college basketball.
Let's see what I had.
So I had the day off in college hoops.
I had one play today. I might have got beat up in college hoops today. Yeah, I did. I got beat up. That sucks. All right, we got to bounce back tomorrow. Got to bounce back tomorrow. That's all we can do.
Yeah, I agree, Spencer. Those two guys that you mentioned and stuff like that. I usually tell people I can only tell people what I know, and a lot of times I put my thoughts on what I've seen behind the window. I think that's why my views are totally different than a lot of these other handicappers on our site, on other people's site, because I've seen what happens on the other side of the window, so I'm looking at it totally different. So that's why some of my views are not cohesive with other handicappers, not just on other handicappers on our side, other handicappers all over the place, because there's not that many of us like that who've actually worked behind the counter and actually doing this right now. And I think it's beneficial because I can kind of see where the books are coming from. They made this number because they think they're going to get early money this way. Okay, I'm going to wait until this number moves in my way. The only thing Griffin had this conversation before. The only sucky part about this is we release our plays at a certain time. So a lot of times I'm looking at a game. Okay, the number's not there. We release it, and then 2 hours later, the number is where I wanted to, and now I'm playing it. I'm like, oh, I wish I could have played this for Docs as a premium play. So, I mean, but at the same time, it could benefit. It could be beneficial on the other side. I mean, I bet it. Oh, wow, now this person got injured. I have +6. Now the number's all wacky because now this guy's not playing. So it goes both ways.
Especially on football weekends.
Yeah, it goes both ways. But like I said, a lot of times I'm waiting for that action that I know that's going to come late. And so I can take it. So for me, I'm looking at it totally different on a different point of view. Giants, Barkley touchdown.
Boom! Cash it, ladies and gentlemen. Ticket cash. God, I drill Monday night. I don't do prop bet premiums on Monday night just for you guys, just so you know. Because we drill them here.
I know we've been. Again, we can need to track them because I think last week I went like 3-1. The other week I had a really good week. I wish the guy that bashes me on YouTube watches the show because he would be like, instead I'm the biggest loser in the world in his eyes. Uh-oh. Who is this?
It's Robert. What's good, bro?
What's going on, Fringo?
He's frozen.
We are doing good. How are you?
Playing a little retro bowl with my 10-year-old son while we were watching the Monday Night Football games. How you guys doing?
Robert, we're living the dream over here, man. I've been waiting for you to get on. We want to talk Bears football.
Oh, I'm going home. I'm logging off.
Do we have a chance? Talk to me, Robert.
No, we don't. But they're showing signs. But they're showing signs of improvement, right? And like the last week was nothing but wins for Bears fans. We played well. We beat the Lions. We're showing improvement, especially defensively. Defensively right now, I don't want to say they're a top 10 defense over the last month, but they're pretty close, right? So a lot of positive developments on the field. And also New England winning last week and Carolina losing again just gets the Bears one step closer to that number 1 overall pick and hopefully Caleb Williams. So it's good time to be a Bears fan.
On top of that as well, because with that DJ Moore trade, I want to say we have one of Carolina's picks going into the draft this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we have the one. I'm not sure if we have the first and the second round, but we'll have the number 1 overall pick because Carolina's going to finish with the worst record. The Bears will have the number 1 pick, and if we don't win out, probably another top 10 or top 11 pick, something like that. So, and a ton of cap space next year. So they are trending in the right direction right now.
We finally look good.
The Bears are going to win out, and they're going to keep your quarterback and draft another need. I think Fields is going to stay. I don't think they get rid of him. I think they're going to keep him.
Well, here's the thing. They should keep him. They should draft Caleb Williams number 1 overall 100%. After what happened with the Mitch Trubisky debacle and Patrick Mahomes going on to be Patrick Mahomes, a guy that the Bears could have. You can't take another chance of a generational talent like slipping through your fingers, right? If Caleb Williams goes on to go to 10 Pro Bowls, you can't. You have to take Caleb Williams, right? But I'm a big believer that you don't start rookie quarterbacks. Too much can go wrong. They can get hurt. They develop bad habits. They get their confidence destroyed. They develop happy feet, stuff like that. So you draft Caleb Williams. You let him sit and learn for a year. You go with Justin Fields going into next season. Best case scenario, Justin Fields plays really well, and now you've developed a trade market for him while giving Caleb Williams a year to sit and learn. And again, I mentioned Mahomes. People kind of forget about this. He sat behind Alex Smith his first year. Okay, they went to the playoffs. They won 11 games. Alex Smith played well, and then they cut the cord on Alex Smith and handed the ball to Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes, okay, the best quarterback of this generation, sat and watched and learned his entire first year. That's what the Bears should do with Caleb Williams. So
I feel like we got Chris Collinsworth talking to us.
If you wanted a Bears breakdown, you just got it. Are you kidding? Just like Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo was his backup. Aaron Rodgers, now you got Jordan Love. That's his backup. And there's a lot of signs, and I'm not saying Jordan Love is anything like Aaron Rodgers. But if you watch him in the pocket, he actually does have a lot of Aaron Rodgers tactics, the way he throws the ball up. He's got a lot of the way he moves his feet, how quick he delivers the ball. There's a lot of things, a lot of traits. So I absolutely love that you touched up on that quarterback aspect.
Well, one more thing, I said this, if anybody goes back and watch my YouTube videos from the beginning of the year talking about the Packers, right? I was like, look, they're going to struggle this year, especially early. And Jordan Love is going to get all of the blame for it, but it's not going to be Jordan Love's fault. They have, 2 rookie receivers and 2 second-year receivers, rookie tight end. They had young skill position talent, right? And this was Jordan Love's first year starting. But Jordan Love fits the profile of exactly what I was talking about. They drafted him. They sat him for a few years. So now that this is his first year, he's not overwhelmed like you see guys like Zach Wilson were. Or look at Baker Mayfield, right? Like he comes in, they throw him into the starting lineup, develops bad habits, taking heat from the fan, not playing well, gets traded. But you look at the guy now. Now he's 4 years on, 5 years on, and he's a more mature player. You can win with a guy like that. Jordan Love is a capable NFL starter right now. And actually, they showed the stats on the screen comparing Jordan Love's first 12 starts and Aaron Rodgers' first 12 starts. They were almost identical. They were almost identical. Both had 24 touchdown passes. Both had 2,800 yards passing. One of them was 6-6. One was 5-7. Completion percentage was almost identical. So, look, and Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Another example of a guy who did not start.
Yes.
You can go through the last 20, 30 years of NFL football and look at the Steve Youngs, the Drew Breeses, the Phillip Rivers, a lot of guys who were not thrust into being starting NFL quarterback. And then we could run down the list over the last 15 years of first-round draft picks that flamed out because they were look at the Jets. The Jets have 4 of them just in the last decade. Learn. Get a veteran, draft a guy, let him sit and learn, but they keep repeating the same stupidity.
We got Tim Boyle. Now that we're on this quarterback topic, and
I want to cut you off, Griffin, really quick because our 3 plays. Derrick Henry just scored a touchdown. Tennessee tied it up 7-7. That was my free play. Anytime score plus 140. So we both had some nice plus money tickets, cash as our free play. So I just wanted to cut you off on that one.
That's 2. Count them, Robert. Yep. What is your thoughts on C.J. Stroud with Houston right now? Is that the rookie of the year?
I mean, he's easily the rookie of the year. He's been in the MVP discussion. And it's interesting. I just went on that little diatribe about rookie quarterback shouldn't start. And that's the thing. People are going to point to C.J. Stroud and be like, well, look at this guy. Okay, he is the exception rather than the rule, number one. Number 2, it is. There are other guys like, Peyton Manning started as a rookie quarterback. Okay, well, he's a mutant. right? And for every one CJ Stroud, there's 10 other guys. But the other thing that you have to consider is you look at the system that CJ Stroud is in. It's a modified version of that Shanahan-Kubiak offense that Brock Purdy runs. It's a very quarterback-friendly system. I mean, it's a system that turned Matt Schaub into a multiple Pro Bowl quarterback, right? So CJ Stroud is in a really good situation with Bobby Slowick as his offensive coordinator. Now, look, he's the guy out there making the throws, making the plays. I'm not taking anything away from him, but what I'm saying is that he's been put in a very good situation. But they also lost Nico Collins yesterday. They're already without Tank Dell. Dalton Schultz is banged up, and they got blown out by the Jets. Let's see how this rookie handles December football, right? And, before we start crowning him MVP and stuff like that. So
CJ Stroud is only winning Rookie of the Year because he's a quarterback. The real Rookie of the Year should be Puka. I'm sorry, this guy was nowhere to be found on the draft board.
You want to get into
no one can even spell his name or pronounce it correctly. But no, CJ Stroud's a quarterback. Oh yeah, and he went to the Ohio State. No, he's not the Rookie of the Year. Puka is Rookie of the Year.
Puka opened up that Los Angeles Rams offense completely, and Atwell, who does not get enough attention. I love watching those two lined up next to each other. The speed is dynamic. And then you've got Cooper Kupp. They have one of I love their offense. They're not comparable to the Dolphins, but when I look at it from an angle route running standpoint, these two teams have very good offenses, and Puka really filled that gap for this Rams team because I do not think they would be good offensively without him right now.
Well, and to your point, Raphael, what if the Rams make the playoffs and what if Houston doesn't? I feel like that would kind of bolster your argument, right?
No, I think it's CJ's going to win it no matter what right now. And it does. Yeah. I think because there's no way they're going to give it to a wide receiver. Just like I think Christian McCaffrey should be mentioned as MVP. I think Hill should be mentioned as MVP candidates, but they're going to give it to the worst position in football, quarterback, which in the worst sport that I have to watch every Sunday.
Can I ask you guys something? Is that a prop bet that you guys have traditionally in the past looked at or do look at? Do you guys bet on things like that, like league MVP? Have you guys ever found any value? That's one of those things I don't even consider betting. But is that something that either of you guys have ever
I don't know.
So I had a futures actually on Bo Nix, Heisman, and I like Bo Nix. I think Oregon, they're the one team in college football that really just disappoints the hell out of me that they're not in the college football playoff because I think they are better than Washington, and Washington gave them both their losses. You put Oregon in that Final Four, they're gonna contain against any of those teams. I think better than Washington does. So that's a really tough one for me because Bo Nix makes it to the college playoffs. There's a very good high potential. The way that defense just picked up steam over and over and over again and filled the gap for that offense as an overall team. I think Bo Nix was a good candidate for that Heisman track, but obviously with Oregon being knocked out of the college football playoffs, kind of burned my ticket. I also had a four-way futures bet with Oregon inside of that, winning the national championship with very good odds that me and Ralph talked about, and I took a dud on that one as well. But yes, I do look at Heisman. I do look at futures for that aspect.
I mean, I hated listening to the Heisman talk all week because, Daniel's a shoo-in. No, he was not the shoo-in. Bo Nix wins against Washington and makes it to the Final Four. Nix wins it. So how are you a shoo-in if you needed Bo Nix to lose? No, it's
the same way that Alabama's in the playoffs because Jane Daniels is from the SEC.
Well, yeah, there was no way. Me and Griffin talked about that last Sunday or last Monday. There was no way they were going to leave an SEC out of the Final Four. No way.
Which is ridiculous. They absolutely should have.
Yes,
I agree.
I want to ask.
Alabama could go on to win it. They very well could end up winning the national. It doesn't matter. They don't deserve to be in the Final Four, and it's kind of a farce that they are.
Tony asked me that question on the gridiron, and I kind of want to hear your opinion on that, Robert. What are your thoughts with Florida State going undefeated this year and getting knocked out?
It's ridiculous. Okay. Like they were being penalized for being down to their third string quarterback. Okay. They beat another top 15 team, Louisville. They didn't go out and play and beat some schlub team. I don't care if it wasn't the prettiest win. Their defense stepped up, dominated. They still got that win. They were undefeated. They had a better resume. They beat that LSU team. They piss pounded that LSU team when both of them were healthy at the beginning of the season. And they weren't going to have their third string quarterback in the bowl game. Their backup would have been healthy and would have been back for the playoffs. So you can't say, oh, we don't want to put this team in with their third string quarterback. They weren't going to have their third string quarterback. Why are we even talking about that? It all comes down to what you do on the field, and all they did was win this year. It's ridiculous. No SEC team should have been in it. Like I had been saying all year, Georgia was number one, and they deserve to be back-to-back national championship. They'd won 28 straight games, whatever it was, no problem. And I'm in Atlanta, so I'm surrounded by Georgia fans. So I've had this conversation often. If you look at Georgia's schedule, who they played, where they played them, this was going to be one of like the worst, if they had won the national championship again, one of the worst national championship teams I'd ever seen. They didn't play anybody. They didn't play anybody. They didn't beat anybody.
And the SEC was down this year.
I love it, man. I love it.
Everyone acts like the SEC is playing a different sport than everyone else. They aren't, and especially now with the transfer portal and with NIL, what we're seeing is a more equal distribution of talent throughout the country rather than, say, 8 years ago, the consolidation of talent that you had in the SEC. Now it's spread out all over the place, man. Like the gap has narrowed to where the SEC really is just another conference.
And I'm tired of you seen the Pac-12 this year? The Pac-12 was one of the best football conferences in all football. I don't care what anybody.
Pac-12 is no longer here. They're
ridiculous, stack loaded. And I know the whole college football is coming to a whole shift-a-roo. It's going to be crazy. But that's another thing. Back to Florida State.
Wait, Griffin, I have to cut you off because Fringo just took a drink. What's in the cup, Griff? What's in the cup?
What do you got?
What do you got in there? What do you got?
It's vodka and passion fruit lemonade.
There we go, baby. Cheers.
Griff, remind the viewers what you're sipping on.
Listen, it's tequila Casamigo Blanco, always with a splash of orange juice. Screwdriver. And Ralph.
It's probably splash of celery juice. He doesn't want to say it. And I am drinking hot chocolate with peanut butter whiskey.
I had a
Screwball whiskey.
Screwball. Can't go wrong with it,
I keep ducking over. I got a big prop play tonight on Saquon Barkley over 18.5 receiving yards. He has 2 catches, but only 8 yards. So slowly but surely, hopefully he is getting there. That was actually my 8-unit prop of the year.
Actually. Somebody actually in the comments.
He's got 8 yards right now. He's got 2 receptions for 8 yards right now.
Look. Rookie quarterback, Monday Night Football. They have their best player. He's healthy. They're just coming off a bye. You got to think that they're going to get him as many touches as they can. He leads the NFL in touches per game. Now that's rushes and receptions, but 21.4 touches per game when he plays. And here's the other thing to consider about the Giants and Saquon Barkley. I actually put this in my write-up. I don't think they're going to re-sign him. They franchise tagged him. They have not signed him to a long-term deal, right? So you're getting to the point where, you only have 4 or 5 games left with this guy. If you're not going to re-sign him, why wouldn't you give him the ball 35 times a game? I know he's been injury prone in the past, but you don't care. That's going to be somebody else's problem. You know what I mean? So I'll be surprised if they are not force feeding him the ball these last 4 or 5 games and just letting him do his thing. So we'll see.
Brian Young came in, who's still putting the Twins to bed. He says that they rushed Lamar Jackson as well. That's why it took him a long time. And it did. It took him a long time to figure out. It took him a long time to figure out the NFL, the throwing game, when to slide, when not to slide. So I agree. I think they rushed. I agree with that, Brian, that they rushed Lamar Jackson when he came into the league.
Student Monkey, Titans touchdown.
Brian, so Fringo, in 2 weeks, you need to jump on and watch us. We're going to have Brian and Megan Young and their twin kids on the show because they're always sometimes it's Megan that's watching us, sometimes it's Brian that's watching us. Whoever's putting the twins to bed. So we're going to bring the whole family on.
Twins, I could not imagine that guy's doing the Lord's work. I'm sure. Do you know how old the twins are? Do we know how old the kids are?
No, we don't.
I'm sure when they come on and make their cameo, I'm sure they'll their first question for the interview is, is how old are they? And yeah,
maybe moderator. Can you have some babies so we can put your baby on film with us?
Is Raphael sexually harassing the moderator? Is that what just happened?
I have no idea what's going on over there.
I'm not saying I was, but I'm just saying she wants to put her dog on the show.
He's going to get himself canceled, and he's going to blame it on the screwballs, peanut butter.
Peanut butter screwball.
Yeah. I was influenced by alcohol.
Exactly. What do we got? 7-7. What's going on in the Dolphins game? Are we still at a 7-7?
7-7.
7-7 across the boards.
7-7 across the board.
What did you guys think of that game? I mean, I did not play that game because Tennessee is one of those teams. They've been so good. They're a bad team, but they've been so good as an underdog against Mike Vrabel that if I see double digits or a big spread or something like that against them, I want no action of betting against Mike Vrabel in that underdog role on national television. But Miami's MO this year has been to kick the teeth in on the weaklings that they face. So, is this kind of surprising to you guys that this is competitive? Is this about what you thought? Like, what were some of your thoughts?
Well, right now, live betting Dolphins are 8.5, minus 8.5 right now in live betting. So it's tie score right now. It's pretty much better than getting your 13.5. You were getting at the 0-0 when the kickoff of the game.
Am I surprised, Robert? Not really, because I would have had a premium on this play with Miami laying the points if this was Sunday football. But because this is Monday Night Football, there's so much trickery that goes on during this. Unders are hitting constantly. Last week, we finally got an over to hit.
Block punt or block kick.
There's so many points to lay. The Dolphins, though, right now, listen, they're 5-0 at home. Titans, they're 0-6 on the road. They're being led by a rookie quarterback. The pressure's already on, and you are playing one of the most dynamic offenses, if not in all of football. They're first in total offense statistically. They're first in passing yards. They're second in the ground game, and they're second in points, averaging 32 points per game. And as you said, the Dolphins, when they play tight, good teams, they play them tight. But when they play sluggish teams, they beat the living hell out of them. So if this was a Sunday game, yeah, I would have loaded up on the Dolphins in this game. But because of the fact that it is Monday Night Football, that's why it's not one of my premium plays. I free played the Dolphins, though. I laid the points in this game.
Well, they just got a block kick, a field goal, and they got blocked.
Who got
Dolphins were trying to kick a field goal, and they got blocked.
Yeah, I feel
and Brian has 3 kids. He has 3 under his house, and his house is out of control.
Listen, just keep fighting the good fight, Megan. They'll get older, they'll get good jobs, and then they'll be taking care of you someday.
Unless one of them wants to bring their boyfriend or girlfriend in the house.
Hang in there for like 40 more years, and the pendulum will start to swing the other way. But I kind of agree with you, Griffin. I feel like if that had been a Sunday game instead of the Monday night primetime game, I almost feel like the spread would have been 10.5 instead of 13.5. Like I feel like the Dolphins better had to pay that Monday Night Football premium. And, as you mentioned, to your point again, 2 more primetime games that look like they're heading under as the year of no scoring continues. So
what are unders this season? What is it like?
Ridiculous.
It's 60%. I think it's around 60%.
Oh, I thought it was crazier than that. It was
I looked last week before I made my plays. I think it was around 59.4, 58.8, something like that. It just ducked under 60%, but that's because they've hyper adjusted the lines now. I think it was 10 out of 14 games last week had a total of 39 or lower. We had that one total on Thursday Night Football that was 30.5. Like the pendulum has swung. They have started to adjust the other way. So I feel like you're gonna find some value on some overs here late in the season, but
maybe it's Thursday Night Football. Thursday, I know there's an insane statistic on over-unders in Thursday Night Football. I think it's Thursday on the under.
The last 2 years, it's like 85%. Something ridiculous like that over the last 2 seasons.
12-1 or something right now this year, something like that. It was something crazy. I pulled it up. I'm like, this can't be right.
Live betting now, Dolphins is 6.5. The total's 38.5, and the live betting on the Packers and Giants, Packers minus 5.5, which they just stopped the 4th and 1, so they got the ball. Packers did, and the total's 37.5.
All right,
let's stop the Giants on 4th and 1. You know what the Giants should have done on that 4th and 1 play?
Pass it to Barkley.
Throw a pass to Barkley. That should be the only play in the playbook here for the.
They faked it to him and then they hand the ball off. That's what they did.
So, all right, college basketball. Not to shift. I know we're football, but like
Nope,
college
fire
basketball,
away.
we're kind of in the dead week, right? How are you guys going to handle this week's college basketball? Looking ahead over the next 5 or 6 days. Not a lot of action until Saturday. It's finals week, which is what's going on. You know, these kids are taking their finals, wrapping up the semester. So not a lot of appealing games, not a lot of games. How do you guys handle situations like this? Do you still try and go dumpster diving, find some value in some of those like extremely low mid majors, or is this week just a write-off for you and just, keep the focus on NBA, NHL and enjoy taking a breath?
For me, primarily, I like these smaller games. I do better off with these lower conference small games. I think there's a lot more trap lines. Me and Ralph spoke on this earlier. I think you can find a lot more value in these games right now. And especially Ralph made a very good point. A lot of these books are primarily focused on these bigger games. What's going on tonight, Monday night, NFL, everything like that. So I always find a lot of trap lines in these smaller conference games. So I have no issue with it right now. Do I love it? By no means. I love the big games always. I mean, but I can deal with it. I have no issue with it by any means.
I find value in a lot of these totals, especially in these games. Like, for example, Oregon's game tomorrow. People may not even know where California Baptist is. They just know it's probably in California. Maybe they're paying Otani's contract. So you can find some good values on stuff like that. But I try not to force anything on these smaller games and stuff like that. If I make my numbers and my numbers are the same or off a little bit, I won't treat it like a Saturday game. Like if I thought I was going to maybe play a game tomorrow, 6 unit, I might bump it to a 4 because you don't know, these kids. These kids are kids. They're studying for their finals. They have other stuff. They may be looking forward to going home for the holidays and stuff like that. So if I find value, I'm not just going to throw up a big play just because it's a Tuesday or it's a Wednesday or no one's on the beat or whatever. I'm just treating it like, hey, you know what? Let's get a W. Let's finish the 2023 with a winning college basketball. Let's try to just build up the bankroll. So I'm not going to go crazy just because there's a small handful of games.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you guys have two divergent opinions, and it goes to show that there's no one way to do this and do this.
Well, we all sit in cubicles. We all sit in cubicles on a day basis. So we all talk to each other when we punch in.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that I'm on a little bit of a winning streak in college basketball, so it's going to make it a little easier for me to be selective this week.
Nice.
Like I said, we're humans, we're handicappers, but we're humans too, right? And it's important to be objective observers and eliminate as much of that emotional component as you possibly can. A lot of that comes with experience. I know, Griffin, you've been doing this for a few years. Raphael and I have been doing this for a couple decades. So it's a little easier to compartmentalize the emotional part. But I'll admit it, like if I'm on a losing streak or something like that, I might be more willing to press, to feel that pressure, because you guys both know how it is. With me, I'm never as confident as when I'm coming off a losing day, because I know that it's probably a fluke. It's probably some BS. And I'm due to get right back on the winning streak. Like when I'm on a long winning streak, that's when I'm nervous. That's when I'm like, oh man, things are going really well. They're not going to continue to go this well. Like I'm almost like bracing for impact on that type of stuff. So yeah, this week I'm not going to have many plays. I've already made my lines, made my numbers, looked at my games for the next 5 days. There's some juicy spots on Saturday, but
yes.
No, Tuesday through Friday, I'm going to be really selective. So if any of my clients are out there watching this, I apologize. There's not going to be a lot of action these next few days, but be patient. We still have many months and miles to go before we sleep in this season.
But college basketball got canceled on Saturday because the NFL had to play 3 games. So they canceled all college basketball because we have to watch this garbage of TV that's been displayed.
Don't pretend you're going to watch a minute of any of those games on Saturday.
I will not. I will be. I can guarantee you, college basketball and soccer will be on sound, and NFL will be on one of the TVs. And then when boxing and UFC starts,
you're watching Wonka. You're going to be in bed watching.
I already
Wonka.
watched it. I already seen it. Really good. It's a really good movie. I already seen it.
It was good. All right. At least it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Highly recommend.
Wait a second. You went to see Wonka, but did you see that instead of seeing Napoleon?
No, I've seen both of them, and that one's awful. Okay. That one's awful.
Napoleon is awful. Really?
Yes.
Because that was
the history part of it. It's not accurate. I thought the acting was really well. I thought the graphic scenes were pretty good, but knowing Napoleon and knowing some of the stuff, it was not accurate. So I think that's what kind of drew me away from it.
Wait, Napoleon. Well, am I going to have to pull this movie up?
You've heard of him, right? French guy tried to take over Europe.
The guy who wrote
it was a big story. It was a big story. It was all over Twitter.
Yeah. It was all over social media when he tried to take over the world. Griffin.
Are we talking about Napoleon Hill, or who are we talking about?
These young bucks, Raphael. These young bucks, man. No sense of history, right?
It's not the ice cream either.
What's that? I got ice cream. We need ice cream.
No.
I know movies on Napoleon, guys. Napoleon movie film 2023. I got it.
It's it's the guy that's playing Joker 2. I can't wait to watch Joker 2 when it comes out. All
right. Well, let's get back to the football. Should we?
I thought they were going to dive into more movie talk.
Hockey, right? You want to go hockey? Hockey's always fun to break down. I got a preview like 1 minute.
Listen, you like I was just saying. Right now, I've gotten off to one of the best hockey starts I have ever been on. I'm up 4,200 so far in the NHL, and that's 100%. I'm like, oh man, am I gonna keep going well? Like, is the losing streak coming? Like, what's going on? But it's been the start of the year. I'm selective. I know anybody that follows my plays and a lot of other sports know that I play a lot of action. I'm not going to get into the mathematics of it. There's an article on the site that explains kind of the Fringo method. Bottom line is, you can play more games for less amount of money a piece and hit a lower winning percentage, yet show more overall profit over the long term. That's why it's a good strategy. But hockey, I've kind of gone the other way. Hockey, I've kind of become like a 1 play a day, 1 or 2 play a day kind of guy. Pass a lot. I probably only have hockey picks maybe 3 or 4 days a week, and it's been working. So knock on
your strategy sounds like my trading strategy. It's a less is more sequence. You lose more, but your risk reward is always maximum. Kind of sounds like my trading strategy.
I've never been a big guy on like winning percentage. Like, I don't care about like I'm hitting 70%. I don't care about that. For me, it's a bottom line business. What is your profits? What are your profits? How much, like, I'm not ROI, I'm not winning percentage. How much money did you start the season with? How much money did you have at the end of the season? Right. That's it. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you got there. Play 5 games, play 500 games. How much money did you make? That's the only number that I care about. I don't care about any other handicap or stats. Like, that's meaningless to me.
Well, I mean, we worked in this industry long enough where that was important to have a winning year, a winning season. Now everyone, like me and Griffin have discussed it before. Now people just want to play. They could care less about the smaller plays. Like I said, we had this conversation. You could be 8-0
for the best one,
and you have a 4-unit play going, a smaller unit play, and no one will play it. But you could be 0-8 and you have a premium play and they're jumping all over it. It's so
okay. But just to push back on that a little bit is that, so how should each of us run our service? Should we cater to what clients want, even if it's against their best interests, or should we, as the professionals, do what we know is right, which can be being a little more conservative, having smaller plays, press when you're hot, pull back when you're cold. And maybe clients don't love that. Maybe they're just looking for those big, flashy picks. But if we do what's in their best interests over the long term, and they start to reap the benefits of that by making money, don't you think that their attitudes will shift? So, like, what do? Do you just cater to what people want, like fast food, style, or do you make good quality food that's healthy for them, and they start to enjoy that and see that?
No, I feel you on that. It's a momentum based thing. Me and Raphael, we talked about that as well. Ralph?
Yeah, it is. It's momentum at the same time. I mean, I don't understand how someone can be ice cold and then they still release the same same percentage, the same amount of percentage wise when you're ice cold. I don't understand that aspect. I mean, perfect example. If you're 0-8 in your last 8 plays, and all of a sudden you dropped a big play in NBA, and now you're dropping a big play in another sport, which you're same ice cold on it. I just don't understand the fixation, because I know. I mean, you're cold. I mean, I've seen it to me all the time. I'm not going to. A couple of months ago, I was ice cold in soccer. I went almost 2 months with not having a 5 unit or higher play. It was all 4, 3, and 2s, 4, 3, and 2s. Because why would I want to risk? I started building my bankroll back up. Now I'm only down 1,200 in soccer when I was down 7,800 at one point. So, but some people, not saying our side. I know handicappers and all companies and all that, but they don't care. They just want that today's Tuesday, I'm firing away. I don't care if I've lost 9 in a row, 10 in a row. And I think for me, if for a consumer and stuff like that who's been around, I think that's bad business.
I mean, you and I have talked about this for years. Like, we both are in lockstep on that. But
that's why I'm positive. I'm big on, I had a winning season. I can come back and say, hey, you know what? In the NFL, I won 7 out of 10 and stuff like that. I'm big on that, because if you follow me all season long, I'm going to say, hey, you know, I'm 70% in my last 10 years on a profit of football. Not, hey, but I ended my NFL season hitting a big play on week 14. Follow me next year. No, I mean, what did you do all season long? I want people to follow me all year long, not just on a Sunday because I have.
It's a long. That's the point. It's a long-term enterprise, right? Like, anybody that's just betting week to week, day to day, they're gonna be done. They're gonna burn themselves out. They're gonna bust their bankroll. They're gonna be beat, right? But that's what we're here for, to say, okay, start with me today, and then where are we in 6 months? There's gonna be ups. There's gonna be downs. There's gonna be wins. There's gonna be losses. There's gonna be streaks. But over a long enough time frame, if you know what you're doing, right, you should be showing a profit. And that's the biggest problem with better, right, is money management. That's why people like us exist. It's not only to do the research because we're more experienced, because we understand the mathematics behind gambling and stuff like that. That's part of the job, is quality insight into sports. But the other part of it is money management. It's the number one mistake that bettors make. That's why we have our unit system. That's why we do things the way that we do, is we can say, look, instead of risking 35% of your bankroll on this one play, right? Let's take a long-term perspective. Let's take the long view. You know, you turn $10,000 into $12,000, and then $12,000 into 15, then 15 becomes 16. Then you dip back down to 14, then you go back up to 19, you know, and then 2 years later, you've more than doubled your money. You're playing for bigger unit sizes, like price per wager and stuff like that. It's all about the long term. And if you get into sports betting without that perspective, you are destined for failure. Like, you don't have a chance, man. You don't have a chance.
That's what, literally in my doc's bio, it says risk management equals key. And Robert, you basically just touched up on everything that I could possibly say about it. The only way to stay in the game is by balancing your bankroll. You need to consistently stick to your bankroll. You have to understand your strategy. You have to understand your risk. You can't throw $5,000 one day and then throw $1,000 the next day. One game you hit 50%, the other game you hit, or one game you lose, one game you win, all of a sudden you're 50%, but your ROI is negative $4,000. That's you need to learn your system. The risk management is key. I can't touch much more on it because Robert pretty much nailed it to the T. So risk management is key, everybody who's tuned in right now.
I couldn't agree more. And even Zoot Monkey, which I would name my kid if I had kids, agrees with Fringo and the comments and stuff like that. It's 100% true. And it is. I mean, it's just all about money. And I think Griffin has a totally different view dealing with the market as well. So his view is probably a little bit more of I don't want to say unit system, but more of a money management system when you're playing the market all day long. His risk is probably a lot more than what we're dealing with on sports. So his views could be totally different than what me and Fringo's views are.
I would say that would be the biggest thing for me, was the transition, because for me, typically how I run every single trade is I have a very stagnant, I risk the same amount every single trade that I make. And then when I transferred obviously into docs, it's a completely different system that I had to learn to narrow around, which I love the system. It's very, very compiled because the system's set up almost like in the trading markets, you could go and do prop firms and all these different things. And they set up boundaries to where if you lose X amount of money, you're done. Well, Docs is kind of set that way up based on the unit system in that format to where you're controlled, whether you're losing or winning, you're always in a controlled environment with it because you can never really your biggest unit's going to be your 8 unit. So the most amount of money that you can lose on a play, unless you take it at a -200 or some crazy garbage, you're not going to, and nobody's going to do that. The most amount of money.
Yeah, they have.
Right. Well, I don't know who, but
me.
I didn't. There's more than just you, Fringo. You know that, so I'm not just pinpointing on you.
That's the thing with Docs that I love the most is when you start really going into that losing streak, because we all go through them. I don't care if you're Billy Walt. I don't care who you are. Everybody goes through losing streaks. And once that happens, you start nailing down your 1 unit per play, your 2 unit, 1 unit, until you get yourself back on track for that big play, that hot streak, that run. And that's what I love about Docs. And it actually changed my trading strategy to where now I have trades of the week implemented into my system. So I would always risk per trade the same amount, always. And now I've learned that I could always take that 1 blaster per week. So I love that. And that really helped me not only in sports betting, but in trading. So that's something I absolutely love to do, Docs.
This is an age-old debate with bettors, right? It's flat betting versus scaled betting. There are some people, Griffin, like you, that they believe flat betting is the way to go. You bet the same amount every time, no matter what. Go look. I could not be more against that line of thinking. Okay. I'm all about scaled betting. Every situation is not created equally. Every bet is not created equal. I don't believe that at all. So you're leaving way too much money on the table by not taking advantage of those big situations when they present themselves. And to Raphael's point, maybe they don't present themselves as much as people force them out into the market, right? But you and I, all three of us here, know that there are situations that come along a couple times a football season, a few times a college basketball, in any sport. We're just like, this is it. This is going to win. I know this game is going to win. We love this play. Like, this is it. And when those opportunities come along, you got to put your chips in, man. Now, you don't over leverage yourself, which we've talked about, because fluky things can happen, right? Like, still sports are still
like Tyreek Hill not coming back in, and people want their refunds for prop bets, but that's another story.
Hey, my top play lost yesterday in football because Justin Herbert got hurt. Okay, I had the over in the Chargers game. 2 touchdowns ended up getting pulled off the board. 6 more points were left on the board when Brandon Staley didn't take easy chip shot field goals early in the game. Herbert gets hurt. Like, it happens. It's still sports. Injuries happen. Did
you tweet that out saying, "Hey, I want my refund back"? Because that was trending, and Hill's trending right now. And we've already had this discussion that I would if I was still working in the books and someone came up to the window and said, "Can I get a refund for Tyreek Hill because he's not playing anymore because he got hurt?" I might jump the counter and punch him.
But win like a man, lose like a man.
Thank you.
I do want to touch up one more thing. Back to risk management. That's the last thing that I do really want to touch up on, because we are ending both half times here.
Yep.
The risk management system with Docs, with any capper, for everybody that is watching, the risk management system is set up so well because basically, just as we mentioned, you're either capped off at an 8 unit, and your biggest loss can be either $800, your biggest loss $100. It's zoomed in. So whether a capper, and losing seasons even happen, it happens to everybody. You're always going to be safe. You're never going to get drilled, because that capper may have had a losing season in basketball, but on the other side, they're still diagonaling with that 1 to 8 unit system, and they're up 10K in the other sport. So that's one thing that I absolutely love with Docs, because that helped me a ton transferring over, because now in the markets, I utilize all this. But yeah, I really wanted to touch up on that. I feel like I didn't get to finish what I wanted to say, but just one of those things.
All right, well, listen, gentlemen, thank you very much for having me on. I'm actually going to duck out and go put one of my children to bed, and my dog, who made a little cameo appearance earlier on here. I'm going to go make sure that she's
it's a dog show, because the moderator's got a dog. We're a dog show.
Oh, nice. Irish Doodle here, 18-month-old Irish Doodle. So, all right, but listen, anyway, thank you very much I hope everyone who is watching this has kind of enjoyed it. Hopefully they took away some good little nuggets of information from us. You got some very smart people here that you're listening to, and Griffin and Raphael, very experienced, very successful people. So they know what they're talking about. So, hey, hopefully you guys will have me back. Hopefully I was entertaining enough that I warranted another appearance. But yeah, you guys just keep doing your thing. Good luck and be good, huh?
Hey,
Thanks for coming on. Happy holidays, Robert.
Bear down, baby. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Cheers, bro.
That was great. That was good stuff.
Oh, dude, he's awesome. That was a blast.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Spencer. Thanks, Zudit, and stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting ready to head off. We got one game that's already in halftime. The Tennessee's up 10-7 at halftime against the Dolphins. And looks like the other game looks like both of them are going to be 10-7. Green Bay's up 10-7, getting ready to head into overtime as well. But that was a fun show. Fringo coming in.
Yeah,
that was a great segment. So I'm glad people enjoyed it. I'm glad people stuck around and watched it.
Raphael.
Yeah, there's the National Council of Problem Gambling number, and you know how I'm going to end this show. I end it always, even the people who hate me on YouTube. Please don't bet what you don't have. Have a great Monday. Have a great rest of the week. We'll be back next Monday, boys and girls, with only one football game. Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
We'll see you guys Monday. Cheers.